boys and girls, and welcome to 5-Minute Bedtime Stories with Missy Lane. Tonight, we're going to read a story called Claire and the Unicorn, and I'd like to dedicate this to Alanis in Philadelphia. Alanis, I know, likes princesses and fairies and unicorns. So this one is for you, Alanis. Claire and the Unicorn, happy ever after. And they lived happily ever after. The end, read Claire's dad as he closed the book. What made them happy forever, Daddy? Claire asked. Her dad laughed. I don't know, Claire. The book doesn't say. Why don't you think about it tonight and tell me what you come up with in the morning, he said. Claire plumped her pillows, pulled up the blanket, and hugged her favorite stuffed animal, Capricorn the unicorn. She closed her eyes, settled back into her pillow, and started thinking about what would make someone happy ever after. Right in the place about 3 miles from being awake and 2 blocks from being asleep, she felt a soft, warm breeze on her face and the silky feel of Capricorn's back underneath her. Hold on tight, called Capricorn. Up we go. And off they went. She's riding on her unicorn's back. I wonder where they're going. Claire felt a little bump as Capricorn's hooves touched the ground. They were in a beautiful forest. Let's go ask, said Capricorn. Ask who? Ask what? Said Claire. We will ask whoever we find first what makes them happy, said Capricorn. There. Ask one of them, said Capricorn. Who? Said Claire. Why, the fairies, of course. There's one right there above your head. He's the library fairy, said Capricorn as he pointed to a tree branch with his horn. Claire's eyes opened wide. Do you see the fairies? There's one. There's two. Yeah, one of them's the library fairy. Good evening, Mr. Fairy, said Claire. I was wondering, could you tell us what makes someone happy ever after? What kind of someone? He asked Claire. Well, how about you? Asked Claire. Me. That's easy, he said. A good book and some peace and quiet. That's what makes me happy. Well, how about a princess or a prince then? Claire said. Do I look like a prince or princess? Replied the library fairy. Who is the nearest princess? Let me see, he said, paging through his book. That would be P for princess. Ah, yes, she would be the closest. Try the castle beyond the trees. Tower bedroom on the left. Thank you, Sir Fairy, said Claire. Here we go. Hold on, warned Capricorn as he leapt up to the tower bedroom balcony. Oh my, said Claire. I know who this princess is. Can you guess what princess that is? Who are they visiting? See her in there? Capricorn gently tapped on the window with his horn. Come in, said the princess. Good evening, Miss Princess, Claire said with a curtsy. Sorry to bother you, but my unicorn and I were wondering if you could tell us what makes a princess happy ever after. I'll tell you what would make me happy, she said. A nice, soft, comfortable bed and a good night's sleep. That's what would make me happy. I haven't slept a wink since I got here. And she pulled the covers up right over her head. Just a bed? Asked Claire. No, not any bed. A nice, comfortable, soft bed, said the princess. Not like this pile of rocks that I'm sleeping on. I see, said Claire. Thank you, Your Highness. Maybe we should go ask a prince, Capricorn whispered. Pardon me, Miss Princess, would you happen to know where we might find ourselves the nearest prince? Asked Claire. Try looking by the pond in the garden, said the princess. If you didn't know who that was at first, here's another clue. Do you know what book, what fairy tale she's from? That's The Princess and the Pea. Yeah, and she's not sleeping in a very comfortable bed. It's not very soft and cozy. The garden was beautiful, even at night, but they didn't see any prince. Maybe he's not here, said Claire. He could be at the ball, said Capricorn. Who are you looking for? Said a low voice by the pond. Claire didn't see anybody. Who said that? She asked. Over here, 3rd lily pad past the bridge, said the voice. There in the moonlight, Claire saw who was speaking. She giggled. I know who this prince is, she said, and she pointed to the frog on the lily pad. Are you sure he's a prince? Asked Capricorn. My book said so, said Claire. Well, ask him then, said Capricorn. Sir Frog, do you know what makes a prince happy ever after? She asked. What makes me happiest are nice, big, juicy. What's he gonna say? What do frogs like to eat? Flies, you got it. Flies, croaked the frog prince. Capricorn and Claire looked at each other. Why, yes, I'm sure they do. Thank you, Mr. Prince, said Claire politely. Soft beds and juicy flies, whispered Capricorn. I'm glad I'm not a prince or a princess. Mr. Prince, could you suggest someone else we might ask? Said Claire. Well, let's see. Who knows about what makes people happy? You could ask the fairy godmother. She might be able to help you. She could be in the pumpkin patch, croaked the prince as he jumped off his lily pad and back into the pond. Fairy godmother was trying out some new spells on the pumpkins. Excuse me, ma'am, said Claire. We're hoping you can help us. Why, yes, dear. What would you like? Said the fairy godmother as she pointed her wand at Claire. Oh, we just have a question, said Claire. We're wondering if you could tell us what makes someone happy ever after. Fairy godmother smiled. My, that is an interesting question. I've granted many different wishes in my time. True love, a charming prince, a kind princess, gold, beauty. But come to think of it, I don't believe I've ever heard the same wish twice. But if it's wishes you want to know about, ask the wishing well in the woods. I think we will, said Claire. Thank you very much. Hello, Claire called down the wishing well. Hello, 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 the wishing well echoed back. We have a question, Mr. Well, said Claire. Ask away, answered the well. No charge for questions. Can you tell us what makes someone happy ever after? Said Claire. My dear, so far I've heard 1,682 wishes, and no one has ever asked me that, giggled the well. Do you have an easier question, perhaps? Not tonight, said Claire, who was getting very sleepy. Thanks anyway. Do you think she's ever going to figure out the answer to her question? What makes someone happy ever after? We really didn't get an answer to our question, did we? Asked Claire to Capricorn. Well, we got lots of answers, said Capricorn. Books, beds, flies, true love, a handsome prince, a kind princess, peace and quiet. Maybe it's just one of those questions that doesn't really have just one answer. The next morning at breakfast, Claire's dad asked her if she had figured out what makes someone happy ever after. It depends, said Claire. On what? Asked her dad. On who you are, said Claire. A very tired princess may just want a comfortable bed. Another princess might be looking for true love. A frog prince would be happy with nice, juicy flies. It all depends, said Claire. Her dad smiled. A very wise answer, Claire. Different things do make different people happy, even princes and princesses, he said. Now, what would make my little princess happy? He asked. Me? Said Claire. Happy ever after? Well, let's just start with what would make you happy for breakfast, answered her dad. How about some pancakes? Asked Claire. And you can see her daddy made her a nice big stack of pancakes with a flower on top. And there's Capricorn the unicorn. The end. Well, that was more like a 10-minute bedtime story with Miss Elaine, wasn't it? That was a little bit longer, but I sure do hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, as always. And before we say goodnight, let's sing our 2 very special lullabies. Can you put up your twinkle stars at home like this? I'll show you my star, and we'll sing together. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Very good. Thanks for singing with me, boys and girls. I'm going to turn mine around and show you the moon, and let's sing God Bless the Moon. I see the moon and the moon sees me. God bless the moon and God bless me. God bless you all, boys and girls. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time on 5-Minute Bedtime Stories with Miss Elaine. Good night.